I believe we are live.
Well,
Welcome,
hello.
welcome to Throwing the Podcast, where we also throw some dice.
Yay.
And now I've lost
Occasionally.
them. Shit. Oh fuck. Oh
Okay,
fuck.
so
I've
I
lost them.
have I have them. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Good. Good.
Oh
Good.
no.
I got them.
I am Club Kyle, and today I'm joined by Alice, the player behind Kesona Desdemona. Sorry about that. And
Hello, hello.
Rasmira. And also joining me is Titan, player of Eloquin, Marlowe, and DM of Riptide.
Hello.
Yeah, so, you two, you're doing well?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
Good, because I won't be, because today is is a Q&A about my campaign, The Shadows of Men.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, so basically how this is going to work is I kind of want to explain some of my thought processes behind certain things I did in my campaign before I streamed and during, and they would ask me questions and I would explain to the best of my abilities. So I open the floor to you guys.
Why?
So who would like to go
Who goes
first?
first?
Yeah.
You go first.
No, I'll wait.
No. Fuck off. You go first.
After you, good
Too
sir.
late.
No,
I've
after
already
you, good
sipped.
sir.
After you, good sir.
Who's on fast?
That's what I'm asking you. But
What's on second?
wait, what? What? But who would like to go first? Cause there's been a lot of stuff in my campaign, and like some of it
There
was good.
has.
Yeah. So like, where would you like to?
There is a bunch of shit in your
Yeah.
campaign that we could ask a bajillion
You know
questions
what I
about.
do? I have one big question,
Sure.
and that's what dark ass mindset did you have to be to come up with the Isle of Dragons?
Legit.
Uh.
Like, were you legitimately in like a World War II kind of like setting or sense of
hmm.
feeling? Like, I want this to be absolute fucking chaos.
So chaos is the wrong word there. Uh. My mindset was along the lines of I didn't want to write something like this because Titan knows this too. I ran this by you when I had the idea.
Okay.
The idea was to emphasize the fact that actions have consequences from all angles. Tythel's father, Kargan, the ancient brass dragon, fell in love with a human woman, and thus he got invested in the going ons of mortals. That in turn led to his demise by Arkham. Arkham thought that, oh shit, I killed an ancient, there's gonna be retaliation, and he didn't want his forces weakened. So he came to the conclusion that he needed to do something so horrific that even if they somehow got free of it, they wouldn't actively fight against him again. So the idea was also to bring Tythel closer to her people. Because, in essence, an argument could be made that her existence was the reason why this happened. So my mindset basically was I want to create a compelling story. I want to make the villains hateable. And I want to show that this world is dark. It can get dark. There are consequences to all actions, be it the
I mean, you
players or the
definitely
game.
did that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you saw like the effect that it took. Like there was that one soldier who was saying, oh, these guys were inferior. His mindset was he had to believe that because if he didn't, there was no way he could live with such atrocities. Because when they died, they looked human. Effectively, they looked humanoid, and there was a lot of death on that island. And vice versa, the pits of bodies. Well, it's obviously a certain event imagery. It's Holocaust imagery, but I didn't
Mm.
want to sugarcoat it. I felt as a creative, like as a writer, I needed to show how terrible this is. I was in a dark place when I made this. Uh, Actually, I was on top of the world when I made this, but I still felt it was important to show this kind of thing. And I know, like, some people will say it was very insensitive, like, if anyone sees it, or that maybe I went too far, and maybe, but I felt I did what I did in the moment, I guess is what I'm saying. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I can see why people would maybe call it insensitive, but at the same time, it disconnects itself along from the event that it's inspired from. That like, you really like you can see the similarities, but like it's not the same.
Well, I mean, it's still horrific. Like what happened was very, very horrific.
Oh yeah.
And the final bit was when you guys won, when you defeated Trench, it felt all the more better because you just freed up people from great suffering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so ooh, that was a good one to start with.
I figured
I
I'd just
mean-
go right in there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, what else you got for me?
Just this is out of plain curiosity, but for some of the love interests that you have in the game, did any of the other players ask you for that?
No.
Or was that just you?
No. So sometimes it was spur of the moment. Like certain characters I never created because they were supposed to be love interests. Darius in my campaign was always a thing. Like if you guys had gone to the crime den earlier in the campaign, you would have met him along with some other people.
Oh, Mr. Childman.
Yeah, yes, very childish.
Mister, I'll steal your men and laugh about it behind your back.
Audrey was
As long with your money.
Audrey was more. If I'm gonna be honest, I rolled for it. Like I rolled to see her reaction, and she just thought Elkin was cute. Like that's basically how that started.
And we literally were like, they want to fuck.
No, but like.
Well, that was literally Deacon. I'm sorry.
That was that was Deacon. He was
Deacon
Hardest.
going through.
Ah, you wish to mate with her.
Well, it actually, it's she was to mate with you.
Yeah, it's been a while. But the mindset with like that is that the world is constantly moving. I have several NPCs. It's not like I have everything planned out because sometimes like in a certain event I make them like as we're going. Like Darius was not made in the forefront of this campaign. He was made towards when I made the crime ring, like maybe a few sessions into it. But you guys never had need to encounter him or anyone there because you kept your nose out of illegal activities. So I just turned that around, and after thinking about it, I thought, yeah, he would kind of be interested in Kevin because Kevin's kind of the opposite of him to a lot of things, and he didn't want to rob Kevin. He doesn't want, like, he's trapped in a situation. If you guys could get him out, he probably would be doing better things, like, undeniably.
I mean, heck, fuck yeah, everybody should have a chance to be able to change their ways, but you know,
Yeah.
some
We have
people.
to take out Baby Man.
Yeah,
Yep.
like, there are certain things that I did plan in advance, like Eliza liking Zero. For those who don't know, because I think this was before we streamed, the character known as Zero, one of the characters named Princess Eliza Seagazer, daughter of Arkham, is interested in Zero. That was planned. That was always planned. But
Yeah.
and also, I can't really tell you who you want to romance, because if I do make a character you want to romance, like you requested, like, it probably will never live up to your expectations. So,
Yeah.
and it's not like, again, I'm not forcing Jacob to go
It's
into
just
a
kind of
relationship
it's
with
just kind of something that has to happen.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
to happen naturally. That's my belief. I like to introduce some things when you mention that sort of thing and see how you react at that point.
Yeah, 'cause I was just curious. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, like Darius was never made specifically for Jacob.
Yeah,
He was doing his own shit before you
he was
guys.
doing his own little shit. So he was ordered to also
And
rob
now Kevin
Jacob.
and now Kevin wants to kill.
Yep.
Darius.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I give him full credit for wanting to kill the poor guy, but then there's me, and I'm like, oh, they fucking.
Darius is not a bad person. Like,
He's not.
No,
I
I
could
could tell you
tell.
that just from
No,
initial like.
it's again like it's the same way
impressions.
Case Sona is now trapped. He's just trapped in this bad situation.
Yeah.
He just got fucked.
Yeah, like
Royally.
let's say that Elquin wanted to try and romance someone else in my game. He did not. Yeah, he would have been more than able to do so. Like, I like to emphasize that choice matters, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So next question.
What was like the big inspiration for this campaign in general?
Yeah.
So I was a fan of D&D, like for a year, and I was like, I want to write my own campaign, and I did a test version with some other people, and it was when I was beginning. Like I was really flawed. I made a lot of mistakes, but the inspiration back then was a lot different from now. Back then, it was I just want to create a story about like these characters like going through an evil kingdom. Arkham in my original draft was more neutral evil than lawful evil.
Mm.
But then, as time went on, I changed a lot of things, like because the games are
Well, as you do.
As yeah, the inspiration really came like I just like I wanted to create a story about okay, so D&D is about these mythical monsters, like you fight threats that are god level threats. So I thought to myself, why not make the threat, like the main threat, like the big bad, simply an intelligent man? Because in every version I've made Arkham, he has always been intelligent. He's always been calculating.
Mm.
And then I thought, because the will of a single person can, if they put their mind to it, if they have the resources, can be just as dangerous to a world as other threats can be. So that was my.
That is very true.
So my inspiration was your heroes. You're going to be fighting these beasts, but at the end of the day, you're just fighting against people who just make who are bad people and like aren't just bad people, but are also smart about it. Because I think the human mind is something we really underestimate at times. If put to it,
Oh yeah.
anyone can do what, like, if pushed, we can accomplish great things. But vice versa, we can also accomplish terrible, terrible things. So I guess that's where the main idea for my campaign came from.
It's just exploration of the human psyche.
Effectively.
That's what it sounds. That's what it sounds
I mean,
like
to be
me.
fair, the human psyche is literally able to change the physical body. So
It's able to change a bunch of fucking shit.
Well,
if
not
it
just
can
the
do
human.
if it can do that, I'm pretty sure it can do pretty much anything.
Not just humans. Like in D&D, there are other races. Just the mind of a mortal, effectively. Because
Well, yeah, well, you know what I mean. when say
I
that.
know. But yeah, like because in my campaign,
The complex brain.
exactly, there are good and bad people within all races. Like John the Beholder, by D&D definition, should be evil, but he's not. And vice versa.
No, he just wants to write his community fiction.
Yep.
Yeah,
and,
he just wants to write his fan fictions and stuff.
Yep. And vice versa, Arkham, who was
We need to
born
get
in
that man to a publisher.
We seriously do.
You can do that next time. But Arkham, vice versa, is supposed to be this good person because, by definition, Asmars are supposed to be good people. But he decided to go against that. So, also, I kind of want to play against, like what typically is good and evil. Like I kind of want to show it's all a mix of shit and polish.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so next question.
What would be? Well, I actually can't do this because it's meta.
I can explain it without being as meta as possible.
Okay.
Just
If-
ask the question.
Arcane was the big boy god. Who left? Oh, welcome back.
Yep.
If Arcane was the big boy god and he were to be gone and all that, and there's a replacement of this, would any of the other gods be offset? Would there be a shift in how the world works itself? Do the gods have any
Uh,
influence over?
So the way Arcane is now, I can say without being too meta. Like he has lost basically all his power in terms of controlling reality, because
Hmm.
in my lore, he was the creator of everything, the Feywild, everything. So the way it worked is that when his power died, the other gods took on the burden of such great power. They split it amongst themselves, and thus reality is still holding itself.
Surprisingly.
Surprising, not really, because gods are incredibly powerful
Oh yeah,
beings.
gods are gods.
Not to mention the fact that celestials themselves can maintain order. Because of the other gods, because like the other gods are still there, it's not a catastrophe. So that's how I could best answer that question.
Ooh. So if it wasn't for the other gods, this world wouldn't be standing.
Uh, more accurately, I guess to say the world would still be standing, but it would be, in essence, very vulnerable if all the gods were suddenly to die. To the Fae, to the to the infernal planes, just so many things it'll become vulnerable to. The
Oh,
Celestials,
it'll just become the utterly chaotic plane then.
it could, like, the Celestials could keep order, but that would mean that they could not interact with the material plane as much, and things like clerics and paladins would be much rarer in that instance.
Rarer and a lot less powerful.
Not necessarily. Because they're rarer, they could still keep the power, though a lot of them would never get to that kind of power.
Mm.
Oof.
Yeah. As
Your turn.
Yep. Yep.
Wait.
What has been your favorite moment in this campaign so far?
That
Yes, I'm pulling that asshole question and making you pick.
no, it's just there's been a lot of moments. I actually have to think on this. As a writer, like it's hard to pick because some scenes I really like and some scenes I hate, even though some other people might think they're good or bad, respectively.
All about perspective and your opinion.
I think my favorite moment, to be as fair as possible, was when you all had. So this is before we streamed. They went to the mind of Zero, and it turned out to be a trap by Arkham to kill his own daughter to justify war with Odinstead to the world.
Oh
to the
yeah, and I
community at
pulled
large.
one of the biggest uh-ohs ever.
You did, but this is before that. When you guys were cast aside to be dead, and when you first met Arcane and he gave you visions of your life, I think that's probably, like, if I had to really think on it, it's among my favorite moments. Maybe my favorite moment. It's typically with character stuff. Like, even though Dwight is not really playing much anymore, I don't know if he'll come back, but having him go from turning into Onyx, the truth revealed, was also a good moment. I thought was a great moment for me personally. And Kargan and Tythel's conversation before they said goodbye one last time was also among my favorites.
It was a really tense moment, but then it was just so somber and sweet.
Yeah, like
It leaves a bittersweet taste,
yeah,
but it was so fulfilling.
yeah, because Kargan, kind of spoilers, but not really. Kargan, that's the same Kargan in Riptide. Uh, I've not been shy about this fact, but the reason Rich didn't play him was because there was, I want to say 10,000 years or 1,000. I can't remember how long Deacon Tartarus was in there. Like, I've actually thought about this all day. But
I think it was 10,000.
10,000
Yeah,
years.
Tartarus
That
was
sounds
like
right.
10,000 years.
10,000 years. That's roughly how long. Like that is like it's not like that's a long time, and Tartarus didn't change, so that's why he is still the same. But now take Kargan, who lived the lifespan of a dragon turning into an ancient one, that is a long time. And you're bound to change when that happens. Because that's, you go through many things, you watch many people die, you watch your fellows keep living on. And Kargan himself is anger. So he wasted a lot of his life, like being angry. So
I mean, we know that at this point.
we do. But when he finally settled down, fell in love, even though he died in the end.
Stop breathing into the mic.
Yeah, you're breathing into the mic.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah. Even though he died at the end, it was probably the happiest he'd ever been. And thus, when he sees his daughter, when he's telling her, don't waste your life being angry, it comes from a man who spent basically thousands of years just being angry, only to have a little bit of happiness at the end. Tectel's gonna live a long time, and he doesn't want her to spend that time just in regret and anguish. And that's why I think it's among my favorite, because it's just, passing the torch, saying a father giving the wisdom he wished he could have in life, suddenly giving a second chance. Yeah, so
Yeah.
character moments. That's I guess that's my favorite. Those are among my favorite scenes.
Noise.
Yeah. Alice, your turn.
Oh fuck. My turn already.
Yep.
Tab.
Yepperoo.
The fuck?
I don't know what the fuck.
The fuck? That just reminds me of the thing of Matt Mercer. Dear Matt Mercer, what the fuck?
I have not seen that. but it sounds
That's
funny.
just the best part ever. It's just this
Ah.
one guy asking him what the fuck.
All right.
Anyway. The one shot.
Which one?
What
Oh,
the one
The
yeah.
switching characters.
the switcheroos. Where the fuck did Arkin come from?
Arkham.
Did
the-
he literally just follow us down here? Was
He
he
didn't
keeping
follow
tab on
you.
all of us?
He
He has
didn't-
no way to really like.
He didn't follow you.
Yeah, he said he followed the vampire.
Yeah,
said
he
that.
He
followed
followed
the
the
vampire.
vampire.
Because the vampire landed basically where Arkham was. Arguably
got
the
his
wor-
ass kicked. The man went back. Man found a fucking.
So Arkham was
dandelion.
confused by this person because he talked of things that didn't exist in your world. So he wanted to know more. So he followed the vampire. And Belthorn, even with teleportation, he had to track him on foot. And that took him a while. In fact, he flew on his dragon. There.
Oof.
So he was not letting this thing get away. And then he met Rasmira, and because of the way Arcane sees Arkham sees the world, as well as the power he has, he knew something was off about you in particular. He can't look at a person and think, oh, they're clearly from another world. Because he didn't know about other worlds. But he saw you, and because of Rasmira's split, what she was and what she is now, to those who have that, who can see with the sight of a god, because remember, Arkham is backed by a god. There was something.
Yeah.
He knew there was something weird. So his next logical step was to detect thoughts on you, and you failed the wisdom save. So he saw everything he could possibly see. So that's where he came from. It's also why when you fought the vampire, let's say you didn't figure out the sun puzzle, he would have been he would have been really hurt. He would have been bleeding. He would have been missing a few fingers. He did not have a good time landing here.
I mean, yeah.
He had a much worse time than we did.
Oh,
Much worse time than we did.
oh yeah, he really
I got
did.
fucking fined.
Yeah, you got fined. He got tortured.
Got fined. And you got tortured.
We got chased by squirrels.
You guys got chased by squirrels.
So-
Nothing is worse than Squirrelatron.
And then,
Squirrels.
but then we found out what Rasmira was. He was like, I can use this. So he wanted to make himself look appealing, benevolent, And when you refused, he wasn't going to take that shit because you are the key to many of his long-standing questions.
Oop, and he lost that.
He did, and he was very upset about that.
Yeah.
But Raspberry doesn't have to deal with it, so it doesn't matter.
Amen.
No, but we probably do.
Alrighty.
Yeah, in the other world, yeah, we probably have to.
Not really. You're on his shit list, but you're not connected.
I'm on a shit list.
No, but something tells me he's about to throw a hissy fit over.
He could just
Huh.
cast sending and be like, "The fuck, bitch, get the fuck out."
Actually, he would not. He has to keep himself cool and collected because he likes to detach himself. Because emotion in his mind is the first step to failure if you let them overtake you.
Oh boy.
I mean, he's not
The
fucking
more
wrong.
he does that, the harder it's going to be to keep doing that.
It is. It's not easy for him, but he at the very least can keep his emotions under control. And he's
At the
never
same time, he's not wrong because to a lot of people, it does end lives.
It can, and that's where he has meticulously been planning his schemes for over 2 decades now. He knows that patience is the key. He waited 20 years for a potential shot to kill his own daughter, and when it failed, he wasn't upset about it. He just moved on to the next one. This is something he can't recover from in like the same way as that regard, in the same vein as that.
Yeah, no, there's no backup for that.
There isn't for
I
the
don't
mo-
think so.
Yeah.
And even if there was, it'd be really hard.
It'd be really hard. It's not worth the effort at that point.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
You'd
so
lose much more than you get.
yep. Next question. Titan.
What would be the funniest moment in any in the campaign?
Squirrels, easily.
Squirrels. Squirrels.
Yeah, squirrel truck.
It
Yep.
has to be the friggin' squirrels.
It's gotta be the squirrels. That was improv, and I was just like, yeah, this is funny. I thought you were just gonna. Yep, that was just really funny. I'm sure I could think of other
I know you have food.
like Conrad Diggory, the drinking contest where he takes one drink and falls unconscious. That's highly up there for me, but the squirrels I think is the funniest moment I've ever done.
Yeah, the squirrels took the cake.
Yeah. No, they took your food.
Yeah.
He didn't even take our food.
Yep.
Actually, yeah, you threw them food.
Yep. Next question.
Someone threw them
I
food.
threw them food to distract them so
Yep.
we could get away.
Fish punch!
Fish punch.
Fish push!
Yep.
Move forward!
Yep.
No, not you. You move backwards.
Next question, Alice.
When I have to think,
I mean, there's a lot
and
of
my
things you
brain
can ask
goes
me.
blank.
Yeah.
As a writer, what was the storyline or plot point that you really, really, really wanted to happen but never happened?
That's a tough one. In the beginning, in the quest board, before we streamed, there were several quests you could have taken. One of them was meeting Onyx's wife's brother, Onyx's brother-in-law. I regret that I never got to do that one, because that would have been a big lore jump for Onyx.
Yes, Lord, don't.
Yeah. Like, that's a big one. Actually, in the beginning when we did this game in person, like way back in January, another one was you never went into the cave where you found the bag of holding. You never went any further. You would have encountered. Did you? No, you encountered Varus that night. That was. Fuck! It's been so long, and I lost my notes on that. Give me a minute. I gotta look this up.
Who has the fucking bag of holding right now?
Steven took that with him when he left. Yeah. Oh, that that was where you would have saw a mural. It depicted the events of Shieldheart's life. That was where he was living at the time, like when he wasn't, helping, when he was still in control. He just kept isolated. He kind of went mad and thus drew the lice events that happened. That's also where you could have potentially found a second journal of Shieldheart's. You only found the first one, you never found the second one. That's what that was. So, but in terms of the biggest one, I regret the fact that you guys never interacted with the crime or the organized crime in the city until just recently.
Until last session.
Exact. 2 sessions ago, I believe. But yeah.
That's why I said
About
last
2
session.
sessions. Yeah, last session.
Yeah, like I think that's my
I
biggest
have
regret.
to say it in a complicated riddle.
Because I had the kid as the crime lord in my back pocket ever since the beginning of this campaign, and I never got to use him until recently. I was so upset.
I know you hinted at it. You hinted at it with Bellfire trying to get us to do it. Because I remember Bellfire talking about it, and then we just never acted on her saying anything.
Yeah, it was just a hint to help you in whatever quest line you had at that point. But again,
And also me when I was scouting the city and I found that out.
But that was you.
I personally I wanted to figure out what the fuck this was.
Yeah, but
I couldn't.
Yeah, I regret you didn't do it earlier. Because there would have been a lot more, but now you just met him, and it's probably likely you're going to dismantle his organization.
Yeah.
Gotta take down the mafias.
Yeah.
So I think that's
and
my
I don't
biggest
know
regret.
if you guys want to help me take down the mafia.
Kevin will. Also...
Kevin, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin definitely will. But, yeah, I think that as a writer is my biggest regret. Oh,
Yeah.
My second is... I had a mission where you would have found a hag in the woods, but who had a pet donkey and a pet ogre. I was gonna have you guys kill Shrek.
The Shrek reference.
Yeah, I would have had you guys kill Shrek. That's a big one.
Oh my god.
Hey, now.
I bet you would have been happy
the
too.
yellow ogre.
No. I just...
No.
There would have been a sense of satisfaction, but it was more a joke quest. It was just to be like, hey, you want to do something fun? Go kill Shrek.
Kill Shrek.
I didn't say fun for you.
It would be fun for
His name wasn't
you.
actually Shrek. It was Rex.
It was Rex.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the inspiration for that. That's what I'm, yeah, so, Titan, next question.
What is the most complex improv you've had to do with this campaign?
That's actually tough. I think... probably the section right before we started streaming. This was right before we started when you guys took Zero out to enjoy life. I improv'd all of that.
You didn't expect us to take the baby on a joyride.
I didn't actually. So I had to improvise everything there.
Yeah.
Well, you should have, because we're kind-hearted people, and our characters try to be kind-hearted, so they wanted to see the guy fucking live.
I know, but keep in mind, this was off the heels of Kaysona stabbing Eloquin.
That too.
Yeah, that was true.
I was originally going to end the session after that, but then you guys wanted to continue, and I decided to do it as well. So all of that was improv, and that's probably the most complex I've done in this campaign.
Oh, wow.
We have such interesting after sessions.
We do.
We did. We haven't done them in a while.
No, not in a while.
We did. The last one we did was streamed when, Sorsdan's death. That's also a big one.
Sorsdan's death, and then it was also an encounter of the Arcanolov that you didn't.
No, I planned the Arcanolov encounter for next session, so I had that written.
Yeah, you didn't end up recording it.
I did. It's on my YouTube channel.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
All right. So
The
was
one that was Sorsdan's death. I didn't expect you to demand all the answers from him, and when you told him about Kurgoth, that's when I had to really improv hard. hard because I wasn't expecting him to die until later in this campaign.
Mm-hmm. But I pulled it all out my ass.
Yep, and now you got a bitch in charge of the clergy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But you got Scythe.
If you want some revenge,
She-
you can ask
Now
me.
my clergy is in league with a lich, and it doesn't make
Potentially.
sense.
No, just her mostly. You know, they obviously
I can
don't
murder
know-
her.
She
Oh, wait, but then
obviously
that would-
isn't telling them her true intentions.
Oh yeah, no, but fucking it's obvious.
To you.
Yeah, to me it is.
Yeah, not to everyone else.
Because I'm the only one who's even mentioned the fucking lich.
Yeah, because it's a really...
I'm pretty much one of the only people who knows about it.
Exactly. So...
And I knew the moment I mentioned it, and she was like, "Why should I believe you?" That was the moment I was like, yeah.
And then she insulted
Okay.
you by, I think the insult was, "And you're not worthy to be called his son."
Yeah, that bitch is gonna get decapitated.
Yeah, she deserves it.
She's gonna get no. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna like get a finishing blow off on her. Gonna fucking roll a nat 20 or some shit, decapitate her, and send her into the fucking 9 hells.
We'll see what happens. That's
I
assuming you
hope to
fight
God
her.
that happens.
That's assuming you fight her, because she is effectively... She has a seat on the city's leadership, because she's in charge of the clergy. So you're gonna have to tiptoe around this very carefully.
Oh, I will. I will tiptoe as much as I need to.
Yeah, but, anyways,
If I have to, I'll get underground connections.
I already have that. I can help you.
good luck. But,
I know.
Alice, I believe it's your question now.
Out of all the fucky wucky moments, which was your favorite fucky wucky moment?
That you guys did?
Yeah,
Uh,
the best
easily-
wucky wucky moment.
Easily Eloquent telling Arkham the name Arcane.
Uh-huh.
That
You
was a
fucking bitch.
That was something I was going to have happen later down the line. Like, it wasn't going to be Elquin who was assassinated. It was going to be a group fight where Keisona was going to be forced to fight the party along with some other people. But then he dropped the name Arcane, and I was like, oh shit, there is no way Arkham is going to allow you to not go unpunished.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one who was supposed to know that name. So name dropping that was very, 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 very good as a guy who likes to make stuff happen.
Certainly moved the plot along.
Yep.
Very much so.
Whether it was in a good way or a bad way, we can decide later.
That is up to you, honestly. I have my opinions. I know how I would have. I know.
I don't regret it. That's for damn sure.
Oh, I don't either. I know which one version I prefer. I'm not gonna say which one I prefer, but I do not regret it because it also made Eloquent less naive. It showed him, shit, there's consequences to this shit.
Yeah, it's kind of it was the first moment where he was like, okay, maybe I don't fuck up like that.
Yeah, it's like it was good for character growth.
Yeah.
But that's
It just so happened that it also took him almost getting killed
yeah.
by a friend.
I
Yeah.
am still not responsible for that.
I
Okay.
know.
I am
And
still
he knows.
not responsible
Oh, I know.
for that.
Like your strings were being pulled by magic empowered by demigod. No one can fault you for that.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Except for maybe the demigod themselves.
No, he owns it. He's like, oh yeah, I did that. That was great. Titan, your question.
When writing this, what were you most excited to see happen?
I can't answer that because I'm still writing for this, and some things that I don't want spoiled will happen, and I'm excited about those things, so I cannot answer that.
Aw.
I'm sorry, it's just...
No.
Like-
need.
It's
It makes sense.
understandable.
In the early days, I will say, one of the biggest ones I was excited for was the Druid arc. The Evil Druids. That was a big one I was happy for, because
Yeah, I still want to bring that fucker back from the dead just to slap him again.
even a question.
Just like.
I mean, if you want, Kisona literally can, because she can't attack specters with her fist. Monks. Remember, monks, their fists are magical.
Oh shit! Yeah, I can't.
Okay, we gotta go find that dead body.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
we
was
got a
actually,
plan.
now I think about it, probably kicked into the chasm, so probably aren't gonna find it.
Yeah,
You just
probably
left it
must have
there.
been eaten or rotten.
No, you just left it there. No one did anything with it. I'm just gonna roll something real quick.
Oh, so it's rotting.
It was eaten by a bear.
It was eaten
Alright.
by a bear. Yep, it's gone.
Alright, time to go kill a bear.
That
Time
was
to go kill
months
a
ago.
bear.
That
It'll
was
be
like
the same.
It was like a month ago, dude. The shit it's taken's already in the grass.
Okay, I'll use it on the grass.
But yeah,
It's
that,
just-
You just see
punch
like a
the
single
floor.
blade of grass that just recently died of rise, like.
yeah, that was the one I was most looking forward to because that introduced a lot of characters. You know, Brielle, Midautis, Modok, John, Conrad, Keisona's sister, Balon. That was a good way for me to get a lot of stuff in.
Yeah.
Alice, your turn.
I might have not have been here, or maybe I just spaced out. But which was the character that was the hardest to write around?
Define right around. Like, just to write for?
To write for, to write the story with,
In terms of
even like dealing with the encounters. Which was the most? Which was the character that annoyed you the most?
In terms of NPCs or players?
Players.
Hmm.
That literally, this player character literally was a bane to a lot of things,
To write for?
especially your writing. Yeah.
None of your guys' characters have been a pain to write for, but the most challenging was by far Onyx. So, I've said this stories before, but IRL, Dwight told me with his character, because he didn't really have a backstory, he was like, I want a succubus girlfriend, and I don't remember anything. That was...
I want amnesia and a succubus girlfriend.
So, I wrote in...
Yeah, that's not a whole lot.
Yeah. So, like,
At least with Alice's fucking I want to work for the enemy. That was
that gave me
worker,
so
that
much
was
shit to work
workable.
with. That gave me a
was
lot to work
easy.
with. That would give me a lot. So I was like, how do I do this? So I had already established that he was going to be brought back by the druids and that a winged creature would fly away and that the druids were evil. And then it evolved from that to like, I know druids have the spell reincarnation, so what if they used it on two people, but because one of them went wrong, it turned to a succubus.
Ooh.
So then it turned from that into okay, these are evil druids who actively burn villages and revive the survivors, brainwash, like get rid of their memory, and then turn them to their side.
And that's how you make a cult, everybody.
That's pretty much what it was.
And that's how you start a cult.
It wasn't a
Da-da-da.
cult. It kind of was a cult.
Yeah,
but
no, it was a cult.
It kind
was a cult.
Yeah.
There's no other way to define a cult
Yeah.
like that. It's just it was with the fucky wucky magic instead
Yeah.
of, like mental brainwashing and
I
all
would
that
call
good
them-
stuff.
I would call them more terrorists than a cult because
Bribing.
terrorists do similar things. They do similar brainwashing stuff. Like obviously not kill, bring back, but they do brainwashing stuff.
I call them a cult. And I will forever call them a cult.
Like there was this woman. She's a very famous case. I think her name's Patty Hearst. I could be very wrong about that, so no one quote me on that. But this woman, she was kidnapped by some terrorist, and she was kept in a dark room. And like eventually, because of like the lack of isolation, and then them talking to her about their beliefs, she joined them and did terrible, terrible things for them because she truly believed in their cause. She's a classic example of being brainwashed, so I view them more as terrorists because they also destroyed villages. They were going to destroy cities, so I think that's...
Cults have done the same thing, though.
They have done the same thing, but the difference is they don't worship anything. This druid circle didn't worship anyone. They were. I honestly would call them terrorists. I wouldn't call them a cult. All right. I think Alice asked me about that, so I think Titan.
Yeah, I asked.
Yeah. So Titan,
Mhm.
your turn.
Oh, Stockholm Syndrome, yeah.
Yeah. Effectively.
Who's your favorite character to write for?
Player?
Yeah, player.
I know.
No, actually. She was my most
I'm
somber.
bamboozled.
She was my most somber to write for because again, hers. I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. The Isle of Dragons is the darkest I will ever go. And Tythel's was the most somber. I'm very proud of what I put out for Tythel. But she was not the most fun to write for. Not by a long shot. In terms of the most fun, honestly, Keisona. You just gave me you wanted to work for the bad guy, and that gave me a lot of avenues to explore. So that was a lot of fun to write for, honestly.
How much have you had to change it because you came up with a different idea?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm wondering.
to follow up, like on your guys' or just in my campaign in general?
Just yours.
In general. Just you in general.
Many times. Like the I had ideas like in the beginning of this that never came to fruition, and I had to change things. Like I said, Onyx, the druids were never originally meant to be evil. Then I turned them evil, like as we played more. That's like probably my biggest example of that. The Isle of Dragons was something in my mind, but I never actively wrote for until I asked, like, should I do this?
Hmm.
So there are many things I have changed. Brielle, actually, Onyx's technically sister. She was never meant.
Half-sister, I'd say at this point.
It's complicated.
Just to give it a word.
Yeah. She was not meant to be. To she was always meant to redeem herself. Like that's something I kept in like stagnant. But the orc, before you encountered him, he was going to go down a very different path. The original concept for the boss fight was that the orc would have killed Mid-Artis as a real traitor, and then he would have taken the Gem of Transmutation, and you would have had to fought him with him using that. And as he kept using it, his body would deteriorate until there was nothing. In the final draft, I changed it to Nadir because I thought.
Now that I think about it, I should have seen that coming because of one line that damn orc said.
Which was?
I can't wait to see you die.
Yeah. It wasn't that exactly, but effectively that's
like
what it was.
I hadn't met Nadir before then, but I could tell that was his personality.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I should have seen it.
Honestly, no one can blame you. You didn't meet him. Now, Kevin, who was with you, could have incited him because he met Nadir.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anyone thought that I would have had him disguise.
Yeah. Well, now we know to be wary of anyone who says something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Though I'm gonna be honest, I don't think he's about to disguise himself anytime soon. I think he's more or less trying to figure a way why the fuck he's dying.
More how to save himself, but yeah. But yeah, he so like the rough draft is always different than the final draft. Like some of the enemies incoming, I never had in the original, but as I thought about it more, I was like, yeah, I kind of want this. So, Alice, your turn.
Oh, fuck. Internal scream.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That is not a question.
Oof. I will pass for this one, actually.
Okay, now I'm worried. Titan, go.
Now you're worried.
Okay then. This one doesn't necessarily relate to your campaign, but just like out of all the campaigns, What is the moment that the most oh fuck moment you've had?
You know what that is.
I have to ask, and you must say it for
That,
this.
yeah,
Yeah,
answer the question.
Yesterday with Xander, like just that whole session was an old fuck moment.
Oh yeah, it really was.
It was.
didn't
3
expect it
hours
to go
of
that
oh
bad.
fuck.
Yeah, so yeah, that was obvious. Next question.
I rewatched the session, and it started off so like, oh okay, and then it went like immediately down the oh fuck route.
Yep. So next question.
Do you have one yet, Alice?
I had one. It's gone now.
Aww.
What was it? What I was asking?
Yeah.
Damn it.
You guys are correct.
Shoot you for stealing my question.
All right, Titan, ask a different question.
Or
Too bad.
God damn it. What was your favorite NPC to write for?
0.
He's one of the. It's a similar situation with Tythel where I liked writing
Oh,
for
0
him.
was a.
But
Wait,
again, it was a somber thing.
It was a somber thing.
Yeah.
And he's still being written too, like because again, like he's not done just because like. But the one I had the most fun writing for. God, that's a big list. I not Trench because while he was fun to act, he was a terrible person, and I had to write all the shit he did.
Yeah, you had to go in depth thinking about what the fuck he's done.
Yeah.
We got the shortened version of it. You had to think of a detailed version in case we asked.
Yep. The most
Dog
fun.
Dog. Dog has joined us for the
Aw.
stream.
Hi, doggy. But
Hey, Dog. Hi, Gajo.
if I honestly,
I didn't know this was going to be such a hard
No,
question.
this is hard because I think Darius. I think right now Darius.
Darius?
He's just a fun NPC. He has some baggage, but nothing.
It is
great.
very true. No, don't
Yes.
mind
It's
me
very
as I steal
true.
your wallet.
I will steal your wallet out of nowhere, and then I will run back to my little cave and
Darius
make
is-
sure
He's the kind of person who will steal your wallet, say he did it, give it back, and then steal it again the moment you turn your back.
Oh yeah, he's a really fun
I mean, that's the
one.
best way. That's literally the best way to do it.
He's a fun one to write for. Like no questions asked. Like I've had a lot of fun writing him.
Mhm.
But John the Beholder is up there too because I really wanted to play against the stereotype of beholders.
Yeah.
So
I always think it's good.
I think it's a
something like that.
tie. I think it's a tie between those two.
Yeah. Alright.
Alice.
Should I ask another one, or do you have something this time?
Out of excluding this camp, because we already know how you feel about the characters in this campaign, and excluding your characters from the other 2 campaigns, which character do you enjoy the most?
As in, like, outside of this game?
Outside of this one, and
if-
excluding your own.
obviously, because I would be
Yeah,
lying.
obviously.
I would be lying if I said Garrett or Xander, honestly. I enjoy playing them.
Especially Xander after yesterday.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck yeah, but we don't. Yeah, let's drop that.
No, we're gonna
boy.
bring it up every time we have the chance to. You know that,
I
right?
know.
Because you did a
That's
fuck you
not something
lucky.
you could just drop.
Marlo's pretty up there for me because he's just this
Pish posh.
pish posh. Rasmira is very interesting to see develop, but
Dog, what the fuck you
if I
saying?
had to be hard pressed to pick an NPC or a player character from any of the campaigns, it's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be Venthril.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Freaking Venthril.
Yeah, she's this
The
chaotic.
thing is, I was literally going into my mind and like, what's he gonna say? And I was like,
Venthril.
Venthril.
Yeah, she's fun to watch be played out, so probably Venthril.
Tis true.
Hey,
tis
I
true.
just stole this weird screen. It has a
Hey,
remote
I
connected
have
to
this
it.
tiny tier that makes you see bad memories. Here, you can have it.
Here.
Yeah.
Try it out at your own risk.
Yeah, but
And other people's risks.
yep.
What's going on in here?
Oh, we're doing
Oh.
the podcast thing.
Invasion.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hello.
Well,
Okay.
since you're here, do you have any questions you want to ask about my campaign?
Do you have any
Do you have
questions?
any questions?
Yeah, do you have questions?
Yep. By the way, ladies and gentlemen,
for,
Deacon,
for what?
for my campaign, like
For
we're
what?
doing a Q&A about the Shadows of Men. So I was
Yeah.
answering questions.
And it's kind of branching into other things too.
It's branching
Yeah.
out.
Is Kevin gonna die again?
No. Not well, I mean, we don't know.
Not planned anyway.
Alrighty, this has been a quick guest appearance by Deacon.
Yep.
Nope.
All right, you guys have.
Yep. For the record, I left a message this time. I left a message.
You
I
did.
left a
Yep.
message.
But anyways, that was your question. Do you have any other questions, Alice? Because you were skipped a few rounds.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That's my life anyway.
Oh.
Oh no, I feel that one.
Well, in that case, Titan.
Well, in that case.
Yeah, but seriously, do you have any more questions? Like anyone on hand about my campaign or any NPCs? Because you can ask specifics
And we
about.
kind of like yeeted. Odinstead.
Yep.
How developed did you have Odinstead from
Okay.
then to now?
So I have never been shy about this fact, but Odinstead was always in. Like I have said this up front. Odinstead was inspired by the Unexpectables home city of Alavast. In the early days of the campaign, I did
Did you
use
say Alabast?
Alavast.
Okay.
Yeah,
For a
in the
second,
early days of
I
this
almost
campaign.
spotted a One Piece reference.
No, I don't know. Maybe the DM did for that, but in the early days of this campaign, I had the same system as the Alavast currency, where they had the base building mechanic. As soon as I decided to stream this, I stopped that mechanic altogether because I didn't want to like rip off on screen. I wanted to develop into its own. But as for the
Which
city,
is actually why you stopped a certain running joke of ours.
I don't remember the joke.
Mastercraft.
Oh yeah, that too.
That we overdid it a whole fucking lot.
You did that honestly was the main reason. But yeah. Odinstead had been developed quite for a while. The only difference was I didn't have the full list of the council members when we began. I have since had a better list of it.
So not full yet.
It's not entirely full. It's still being developed because there are places you haven't explored that I haven't need to write for yet. But overall, it is still... It's pretty good. It's like pretty well written so far. Again, I've never been shy about what I've taken inspiration from, but I don't like to rip off. Because taking inspiration from and ripping off something are two very different things.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
a fine line.
it's a very fine line between the creative license and then just blatantly copying something, just
Yeah.
renaming it to your benefit.
You're
Yeah.
doing it
Because-
without the copyright.
Yeah, Odinstead
Yeah.
and Alavast have their similarities, but they are filled with different NPCs, and their relevance to the worlds that they respectively habit are two very different things. Alavast is a much different city than Odinstead. Alavast is a better city than Odinstead. Like, I love watching The Unexpectables a lot, and part of the reason is it's a really good environment. This city is not as developed as I would like it to be, but it's still fun to be in. And it's also a nice juxtaposition to the rest of the world, which is chaotic. There's a sense of order and clarity here, though it's not without its faults.
You bark at me? Doggo
Uh,
bork. He borked at me.
Oh, bad boy.
Why he?
Yeah, but yeah. So, Alice, next question.
Another one? I think I did my 2 already.
Oh, did you ask about Odinstead, or was
I-
thought that was Titan?
Yeah,
No,
that
that's
was
me.
Okay, Titan then. My bad.
her.
I'm gonna shoot you.
Hmm.
Belthorn.
Okay, what was the inspiration for that?
No, just tell me just why Belthorn came to be in general. Like,
It was
at least as big as it do.
Arkham was always going to be the main threat of this campaign, but I didn't want to be the man himself. The whole city of Belthorn, and I can only say limited stuff because you aren't there. Like the whole military Belthorn was also meant to be a big threat, so I just wanted to make an evil kingdom. But then I wanted to go into the methods of this kingdom. How do they work? And as I kept writing, I was like, ooh, this is nice. This is cool. I'll use that. But why Belthorn? Like, what do you want specifically? Like, if I didn't answer to your satisfaction.
You already did.
Okay.
Lol.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really answer too much about Belthorn because you haven't been there yet, so you don't know the culture of the everyday person.
Well, we can't. You know, I'm just waiting for like us to go to Belthorn and it be this really bright, happy, smiley place.
Total opposite of what we were imagining.
Yeah,
I
like
bet,
what we were
I bet
imagining.
we're all imagining it's like dark and gloomy, and it's like
people aren't too
this-
happy with things, and then like we
Yeah.
go there and everybody's like really cheery. Like the whole place is super bright.
like for me, I always thought of it, as like a Curse of Strahd village. But then it's like if
Yeah,
we show
same.
up, if we show up there and it's like all bright and joyous like a Ravnica place, and oh my freaking god, what happened here? What is going on?
Well, you will
What
find
is
out.
this, Wildermountain?
You will find out if you ever go there.
Will them out?
Well, if you ever go there, I will happily let you know. But I
I'm
can't
not
say
going
this.
there yet because I don't feel like dying.
But,
Yeah, I don't want to die either.
But however, I will say this: Belthorn was basically my mindset for Belthorn is what is the limit of the cost of a thriving civilization? Like, how far should one go to see your civilization thrive?
If you asked Alexander the Great, he would say to the end of the world.
But that's basically the main idea behind it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Alice, next question.
I'm sorry, I had to take a second to remind the boyfriend that I knew about the D&D and MTG reference crossover thing.
Oh, good.
I think he's watching the stream.
I think so. Someone is.
The son of a bitch.
But, yeah, so, next question. We can only do one more for both of you.
One more, huh?
I'm assuming time.
Yeah, I like
guess
to keep
it's
these
time.
around I like to keep these around an hour, honestly.
Yeah, super short.
Let's go for 4 hours.
Let's go for all the hours.
If we had everyone here, we could do it, but unfortunately we don't. But because I like to keep this orderly. But yeah, so Alice, last question for me.
Okay, out of the characters that came and went, which one were you actually really, really, really wanting for them to stay?
Out of all the characters you guys have encountered, Hazem. He was my most he at this point in the campaign, he's probably my most sympathetic villain because you understand why he did the things he did.
Asshole.
But I do regret him dying. Like, not in a narrative sense. It worked in the moment. But rather, you guys didn't get a chance to maybe pull him back. I think that is my biggest regret out of all the NPCs who have come and gone.
Aw.
Titan, final question.
Okay,
The
I gotta make
world
this big.
rests
I gotta-
on your
I gotta end-
shoulders.
I have to make it big. This has to end big.
You can talk about any NPCs I've introduced. You can ask me about any locations, any story thread, just whatever you want about this campaign.
Without any spoilers. What is your favorite part about this world?
I think the duality of it. I said this in I responded to this in an earlier question, but like I said, the world has a duality. There are good people and bad people, and race has nothing to do with it. There are people who want terrible things to happen. Like, and it doesn't matter what their race is in this campaign. They just want bad things to happen, and vice versa.
I mean, that's obvious.
There are good people
look at the lizard
in
folk
all of races.
or what they were.
Yeah, the lizard folk in my campaign were not the typical lizard folk. They were 10,000 years ago. They were among the brightest of the races in the world. They were technologically advanced. They were really good, and they died. But yeah, like there's Belthorn is like, you know, they are evil. Like, I will never, as much as I say there's order, it's evil. But vice versa, there are other evil things that should be good. You would think that Belthorn, but the Druids would have been good fighting against Belthorn, but they wanted everything gone. And Hazem became a villain because he took things too far.
Yeah, they took that whole protector of the forest thing a little too far.
Yes.
Hence the cult.
Terrorism. And Hazem took things too far as well, because again, his intentions were to get rid of Belthorn, but he didn't care how he did it, effectively becoming the monster he wanted to destroy. I think what I like is
I called him out on his bullshit.
Is that even though Odinstead seems nice, there are still plenty of bad people in there. Like, one of the council members is that god-awful drow. And it's not because she's a drow, because she has her own motivations. The best people you meet in this campaign are the individuals. So I think that's my favorite part about the campaign, is that the better people are the ones who don't tie to themselves to any one thing. It's all about personal choice. And
I expect that.
Yeah. Well, what did you expect, and what did you all expect me to answer for any of these questions? Let us know in the comments. Until then, this has been Throw in the Podcast.